A movie review brought to you by theskykid.com.
The Blond Boy from the Casbah, 2023. In the 1950s, Algiers, a city on the cusp of conflict, the Blond Boy from the Casbah, titled in French La Petite Blonde de la Casbah, unfolds as a beautifully shot coming-of-age story. The film opens in the present as the adult filmmaker Antoine Lisner journeys to Algiers with his son to present a movie. In a series of flashbacks, he retraces his childhood memories from the perspective of a young Antoine, played by Léo Campion, who grows up in the 50s surrounded by a diverse and loving household, Jewish, Muslim, Christian. The lines blur. But the peace is shattered as bombs begin to explode in the city. The film, as told retrospectively, follows Antoine as he discovers his passion for cinema against the escalating Algerian conflict of that period. The acting is fantastic, particularly young lead Léo Campion, who gives a standout performance. I have seen him previously in the short film Alone and the movie The Time of Secrets, and, based on my impressions of him in those films, had high expectations for him in The Blond Boy from the Casbah. He did not disappoint. Once again, his expressive face and strong body language bring his character to life, aided by a skillful camera and directing that effectively highlights his performance, using varied compositions to emphasize his emotional state and experiences. The portrayal of young Antoine and his burgeoning passion for cinema, ultimately leading him to become a filmmaker, parallels the 1988 melodrama Cinema Paradiso. I can also see parallels between Antoine's own experience as a child witnessing conflict and the film Forbidden Games, which is directly referenced in the narrative itself. Unfortunately, while Campion's acting is excellent, I didn't feel a deep connection with his character. This is due not only to the overall pacing of the film, which, given that it's presented as a memory, has a deliberate reflective quality, but it also must be looked at in the historical context, which, while likely familiar to French audiences, may be less accessible to a broader international audience. The film's realistic style, including detailed sets and period-specific props, creates a nostalgic and bittersweet portrait of childhood. The lighting throughout these scenes varies significantly. In the more brightly lit moments, warm tones evoke a sense of nostalgia and comfort, while darker scenes employ harsher lighting, suggesting tension or sadness. Perhaps those who either have followed the career of Léo Campion or simply enjoy this glimpse of a time presented in a coming-of-age narrative will find the film worthwhile. I don't regret the time spent watching The Blond Boy from the Casbah, but I hesitate to recommend it highly to anyone but the most devoted fans of the coming-of-age genre. At the end, one witnesses Antoine's transformation from a naive boy to a man confronting his roots. It's a film for those who appreciate a slower pace and a focus on atmosphere. But be warned, it's not a wild ride, and you might not feel super connected to the characters. If you enjoyed this review, please support us by liking and sharing it. Subscribing to the channel is greatly appreciated. Don't forget that all reviews featured here were previously published and are available in written form at theskykid.com.